Hey everybody, and welcome back to 999. Last time we found out that the ninth man exploded because he was the only one that went through the door. And then Snake revealed that he had extra information that Zero gave him because he's blind. That apparently whoever logs into the door has to log out on the other side or else they die. And anybody who, sneaks in the door that didn't log in is gonna die. So it sounds like there's pretty strict rules on who's gonna survive on this thing. So I think what it sounds like is, you just have to, log in, make sure it equals the number on the door, and those people have to log out on the other side. And it has to be 3 to 5 people. It can't be any more and it can't be any less because people will die, and it seems random. Not random who dies, but I don't understand why Clover and... I'm going to keep calling him Leon. That's not Leon, it's Lion, and it's Ace now. I don't know why they died, because they tapped in, but they didn't tap out on the other side, so I feel like they should have exploded. So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe that's there's a reason. We'll see. So anyway, so that's it. Here we go. Ahem. Snake finished reading and carefully returned the card to his pocket. The message had been lengthy, but its meaning was clear. You guys are screwed! Only those who verified their numbers at the red could pass through the numbered doors. Teams could not increase or decrease their numbers. What does that mean, teams? The reds, deads, and bracelets enforced the rules. They were the judge, jury, and executioner. Ooh, that's good. In defiance of Zero's suggestions, both Santa and Seven put fingers down their throats and began to gag. Oh, that's right, they have bombs inside them. That's fun. The rest stiffened. Some touched their stomachs. Some simply stared at their bracelets. Junpei gingerly touched his stomach. There was a bomb inside his body. The thought of it made him queasy. Yeah. His stomach felt oddly hollow, and his legs were weak. Why had Zero designed such a ludicrous game? Junpei looked over at the others. All right, I'm going to ask one more time. Do any of you know anything about Zero? They were all silent, each person waiting to hear what the others would say. Finally, Santa spoke. Actually, I saw him. I saw Zero when I got grabbed. I didn't see his face, though. Son of a bitch was wearing some kind of gas mask. What the hell? Come on, guys, give me something. Surprise or something? Instead, it was Santa who looked surprised. I would assume that's kind of what we all remember. There was a moment of silence, and then everyone spoke at once. Yeah, I saw him too. Me too. He was wearing a gas mask. As stories were sorted out, the truth became clear. All of their stories were the same. They had been abducted at home at midnight. All at midnight? The person claiming to be Zero had worn a mask. There had been white smoke, and then each person had passed out. When they woke, they had found themselves on D-Deck, in a room with a 3-level bunk bed. All on D-Deck because they were, running downstairs, so I thought someone would have been upstairs. But whatever. Only Seven's story seemed to lack the details of the others.
Oh, me? Yeah, well, mine was just like the rest of yours.
That was all he had said. Well then, why was it different? It had occurred to Junpei at the time that it sounded somewhat strange, but he didn't press the issue. He hadn't done so because there was something that struck him as even stranger. That was the mystery of the relationship between Snake and Clover. For some reason, they had been abducted from the same room and woken up in the same room. Junpei looked at them thoughtfully. So, what's the deal with the two of you, anyway? It was Clover that answered. Clearly, she felt she had nothing to hide.
We're siblings.
Siblings?
Yes? Snake is my older brother, obviously. That means I'm his little sister. That really so hard to understand?
That you guys look nothing alike doesn't help. Junpei was taken aback. The others seemed just as surprised.
She is correct, of course.
He laid his hand on Clover's shoulder.
Are you surprised?
Well, yeah, but...
Why? There are other people here with connections to one another. Those two, for instance.
Snake pointed at Junpei and June.
Oh, you mean between Junpei and me?
Ah, yes. You did say you were childhood friends, didn't you?
You went to school together?
Yeah. June glanced at Junpei, uncomfortable with the sudden attention. Junpei felt somewhat nervous as well, and tried to scratch his head as casually as possible.
Hey, you think maybe we could figure out who Zero is this way?
Yeah, you're right. You connect the dots between the victims, and that leads you to the perp. Textbook stuff.
Junpei, June, does any of this ring a bell? Ring a bell? Ring a bell?
They looked at one another. Unlike it was staged, they both tilted their neck at the same time.
Well, perhaps you went to school with the son of a multimillionaire. A millionaire?
Son.
Well, someone bought this boat and set up all of this. Whoever Zero is, they must be incredibly rich.
Well, we can't be sure of that. To me, this seems as though it's the work of an organization, not an individual. Zero is most likely simply the representative of a larger group.
What sort of...
Seven.
What sort of organization? It could be a number of things. An army, perhaps, or a research group. Perhaps this is all some sort of psychological experiment.
If it is, then it's a pretty fucked up experiment. I mean, come on, a guy's dead!
That's for sure. The word dead hung in the air, heavy and ominous. The room went quiet again.
I don't know who the hell the Zero asshole is, but I know for sure he's gotta be pretty fucked up in the head to do all this. If this was all one guy, then he's got serious issues.
Even with the specter of death hanging over them, their discussions continued for some time. In the end, however, they learned nothing. Time's ticking, you guys! By the time they finished, 1.5 of their 9 hours were gone. Oh, God. All they had to show for it was impatience.
Man, look, we only got 7.5 hours left, okay?
7.5, I'll say. So no one says 7.5.
You really sure you want to just sit around?
No one was willing to argue this time.
Very well then, there's only one way for us to proceed. Sure not gonna be fun running around knowing we gotta jump when Zero says jump.
Well, it's stupid to sit around here doing nothing. Thanks to Snake's card, at least we have some idea of how this all works. Correct, and as long as we follow the rules, we will most likely be alright. But
what?
who's going to go in which door?
June looked towards the numbered doors.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can't have any more than 5 people in one door. All 8 of us can't go in the same door.
Then it would seem we'd have to split up.
Wait!
Lotus looked terrified.
I'm telling you now, there's no way in hell I'm going to door 5.
Come now, don't be selfish.
Call me whatever the hell you want. I'm not going in there. If I'm going to have to walk through all that blood, then I'd rather stay here.
And we were doing so well.
Ace shook his head sadly.
Sorry, but I ain't going in there either. Someone else can go in the door 5.
Oh, Santa, not you two.
Hey man, I just bought these shoes.
Really, that's what you're worried about?
If you think I'm getting some creepy dude's blood all over him, you got another thing coming.
That was the last straw.
What the hell, man? Weren't you the one who kept saying we should get going? Yeah, so? Doesn't mean I wanted to go in door 5.
Oh, God.
There was an awkward silence. Finally, 7 spoke.
Fine. I'll go into door 5. Can't go in there alone, though. Anyone else willing to come with me?
There was another long silence. This time, Snake was the one to break it.
I'll go. What?
Don't worry, you'll be fine. We may part now, but I'm certain we'll meet again later.
How do you know that?
Because I do.
That's not an answer! If you're not going... Wait, if you're going, I'm going too! I'm going to door 5!
What am I going to do with you? There's nothing you have to do.
Ace stepped forward.
If I join you, the problem is solved, correct? 7 is 7, and Snake is 2. And if you add Clover's 4 and my 1, the digital root will be 5.
7 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Yay for math.
Oh, it works perfectly! The 4 of us can go into door 5!
Wait. What about the other 4? What's their digital root gonna be?
Junpei did a quick mental calculation. Lotus, Santa, June, and Junpei remained. Their bracelet numbers were 8, 3, 6, and 5.
So that's 11, 12,
14, 8's 22, so that's going to be 4. Hey! What will their digital root be? Wait, I better double check. 8 plus 3, 11, and 11 is 22, that's 4. Yay. That's perfect. He repeated what he determined. It's 4. Out of our 4 bracelet numbers, and the digital root is 4.
Then we can go into door 4.
Yeah, that worked out well.
Junpei ran over the team assignments in his head one more time. 4 people would go into door 5. 7, Snake, Clover, and Ace. 4 people would go into door 4. Lotus, Santa, June, and Junpei. Junpei had to ask himself if the team's what he really wanted. Beyond door 5 was what remained of the 9th man. He never wanted to see that thing again, but something in him said it would be unwise not to examine the corpse even a little closer. Of course, if he went through door 5, he wouldn't be going with Lotus and Santa. True, it would be possible for him to bring June with him through door 5, but that would mean she would have to see the horrific carnage that waited there. Junpei didn't want that. Junpei was torn. Should he stay silent and go through door 4? Or should he stop them all and insist on door 5? As he turned his options over and over in his mind, Ace spoke up.
Alright then, it seems we've reached a conclusion. Shall we go?
He began to walk toward door 5. Clover and Snake followed, with 7 a short distance behind. Junpei. Which door do you want to go through? Well, everyone's pretty set with how it is now, but he does bring up a good point about checking out the body. I mean, I don't know what you could find because it's kind of exploded, but yeah, we gotta investigate. Hey, wait! Junpei's cry echoed across the room. The 4 people walking toward the door stopped and turned back toward him. I want to go through door 5 too. The words were scarcely out of his mouth when June spoke up.
What? What are you saying, Junpei? If you're going through that door, then I'm going with you.
He turned around to look at her. No, you can't. I can't take you with me.
Why?
Well, you know what's in there, don't you? Are you sure you want to see that? June opened her mouth as if to say something, but instead closed it again and looked at the floor. Junpei felt an ache in his chest at her clear distress, but the choice was not his to make. There was nothing else he could do. Junpei turned away from June, doing his best to silence his turbulent emotions. Please, let me go into door 5. Seven scratched his head and looked at the young man.
Man, now we're right back where we started, you know that?
Junpei's bracelet number is 5, right? If we are going to add Junpei, then we must subtract 5 from the rest of us.
Snake turned to Ace.
Ace, please take good care of Clover.
Oh, alright. That's fine.
1 + 4 is 5, in case you didn't know.
Don't go away!
You need to listen to me, Clover.
Go to door 4 with the others.
No! Don't be so selfish! Snake's tone was harsh. Tears welled up in Clover's eyes. Oh. She bit her lip and did her best to fight them off. Snake's expression softened, and he put his arms around Clover. He held her close and whispered into her ear.
You'll be fine. Just relax.
It looked as though he whispered 2 or 3 more words, but whatever they were, Junpei didn't hear them. He couldn't help but wonder what the other man had said. Snake pulled back from his sister, his eyes kind and inquiring.
Okay, I understand.
Her voice was barely audible from where Junpei stood. Before long, new teams were assembled. Those going to door 5, 7, Snake, and Junpei. 7 + 2 + 5 is 14, 1 + 4 is 5. And those going to door 4, Lotus, Santa, June, Ace, and Clover. That's a lot of people. 8 + 3 + 6 + 1 + 4 is 22, 2 + 2 is 4. Beep, beep, beep. 7, Snake, and Junpei scanned their numbered bracelets in quick succession. The screen of the red showed 3 asterisks. Alright then, let's go. Junpei glanced around one last time, his hand resting on the lever of the red.
Okay. Please be careful.
Concern was written plainly across her face. Junpei looked her in the eye and gave what he hoped was a reassuring nod. He pulled the lever. Here we go. Get to see the ugly body again. With the sharp clack of a lock Releasing, the door swung open. Ahead of them, in the small hallway, were the pitiful remains of the ninth man.
It's a puppy! Hi, puppy!
What are you doing?
Hi, little one. Hi, puppy came to visit me. What you doing? What are you doing? Hi, cutie.
Alright, sorry about that. My dog wanted some attention. She's so cute. Okay. Anyway, ahead of them, in the small hallway, were the pitiful remains of the ninth man. For a moment, Junpei froze. Try as he might, his eyes would not leave the corpse, and his feet would not leave the floor. Seven, too, seemed paralyzed. Snake, on the other hand, seemed unconcerned. I mean, you can't see it. He walked calmly down the bloody hallway and only stopped when he realized his companions were not following.
Do you intend to kill me? I assume you haven't forgotten the door only remains open for 9 seconds, have you?
9 seconds? I thought they had 81. He hadn't even bothered to turn around. His head was, at most, slightly cocked toward one shoulder. Junpei and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and threw themselves through the door. Oh! Okay, they weren't through the door yet. As they did, a cold tone sounded from the left wrists of all three men. Junpei and Seven looked down at their bracelets. On both of them, and on Snake's, a red skull had flickered to life. The detonator had begun its countdown. They had scarcely processed this information when... Oh god, the door's closing. Ew, it's blood splattered. So he's not going to have much time to, investigate, so much for that. The metallic slam, the number door behind them swung shut. Unless they could find the device that would deactivate the detonators on their wrists, they would not be leaving the hallway.
Hey! Where's the dead?
The fear and urgency in Seven's face reflected what all three of them felt. Junpei spun around, searching desperately for the dead. He found it easily enough. It was on the wall next to the closed door labeled 5.
Found it! Right here!
As he yelled, he struck the scanner with his hand. The other two scrambled to follow suit. As soon as they finished, Snake threw the lever down. Oop. That was close.
Phew. Looks like it stopped.
As he spoke, Junpei wiped the sweat from his forehead with a trembling hand.
God damn, the thing is gonna give me a heart attack.
A muscle stood out in Seven's neck, and the corner of his mouth was twitching.
Junpei, are you alright? Are you guys okay?
They could hear anxious voices, muffled but distinct, from the other side of the door.
Yeah, we're fine. The detonators have been deactivated.
They heard relieved sighs, and even through the door, the three men could feel the tension disperse.
Alright, we're moving on. Be careful, okay?
Okay. Sure thing.
They heard footsteps moving away, and before long they were alone again. Junpei looked around. The hallway hit a dead end, 20 or 30 feet from where they stood. A thick iron wall blocked their way. Try as they might to force it, the wall refused to move. Oh, see, I thought it was like a hallway where it was like you open, like you tap out on the dead and then it opens another door. But apparently that's not the case. You just have to find the dead and you're good. To the left, however, was a wooden door that looked positively inviting by comparison. In the middle of it was a plaque that read First Class.
A first-class cabin, huh?
Well, it seems like it.
Let's have a look then, shall we?
Oh, that graphics. Without hesitation, Snake opened the door and stepped inside. Seven followed closely behind him. Junpei moved to follow them as well, but... He stopped just short of the threshold and looked back, not knowing why. Lying in the small hallway was a man's body, or at least what was left of it. He tried hard to avoid looking at the grisly scene, but it just wouldn't leave his mind. What had once been a man's internal organs now looked so much like vomit, as though something had chewed up and spit out the better part of his torso. It was hideous, but worse still, it was cruel. It was hard to believe the thing on the floor had once been human. The black pool of thick blood, the lumps of glistening flesh spread across the floor, the awkward twisted tangle of shredded intestines, the head wrenched to some grotesque, unnatural position. Oh. The man's glasses lay next to his head. The lenses were cracked, and the frame bent and distorted. That's kind of sad. And next to the glasses lay a bracelet, the number 9 still displayed on its face.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1, you escape from the ship. feel your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship or detects that its wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Her! Suddenly, Junpei felt his stomach convulse and a knot of muscle gripped his throat. He clapped his hands over his mouth and ran to the first-class cabin. I thought he was going to investigate the body. What was the point? So now he just, like, walked through a gross scene for nothing. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, that's a good spot to stop. So, yay, he survived along with other two. And hopefully the other group is fine, too. So, we'll end it there for now. So, thanks for checking in, everybody, and watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.